All right, everybody. I am excited. We're live. We got a ton of people cycling into the room. So welcome, welcome. We are so excited to bring this content to you. We're going to be talking about Azure Government Virtual Machines. Final thoughts. Is this the ultimate solution for everyday defense contractors? Yes, I think it is. I think that if your needs fit this as a solution, there's probably not a better way to do this. It's why we get so excited about it. It's why we decided to put on a webinar about it. We previously haven't really talked a lot about it because it's not right for everybody. However, if this is right for you, it's the ultimate solution. And if it's not right for you, well, it's not the ultimate solution. The key is let's get in there. Let's work together. All right. Let's do a gap analysis and solution design. And then let's make sure everyone on both sides of the table has a very good understanding of what the scope is that needs to be compliant and what we really need. And then we can figure out if this is right for you. And in a lot of cases, it is. And in a lot of cases, it's not. It depends on the situation. But for those where it is, boy, I tell you what, they love it. From a cost perspective, is it better? I can't tell you that. Gosh, man, I really want to be able to tell you that. But the reality is simple. We need to get to know you better. I wish there was another way. The call is free. I'm going to show you in just a second how to get in contact with us. The cost is, in my opinion, something that I'll tell you that we run a hybrid environment. All of our computers are compliant, and yet we still run an Azure virtual enclave with virtual machines for certain applications that we need to be accessible from anywhere on any device while our people are out in the field. That's another use case scenario that I don't even think we talked about. So is it better from a cost perspective? I will tell you that as we've gotten better at this, we are finding that more and more clients wind up in a situation where this is the more cost-effective way to go. Can I give you a percentage? In a year, I'll probably do another webinar on this and I'll give you a much better percentage of that. I'm not comfortable doing that because I don't want to really lead you in one direction or another. What I want to do is have a conversation with you and one of our certified experts. That's really the next step for us here. Let's have a conversation about this. If this is the direction you want to go, tell your certified expert that you're on the phone with, and they certainly can say, well, yeah, it makes sense, or no, hang on. Let's see if we can make it simpler. A lot of that is going to come out of the gap analysis and solution design meetings. So again, I can't tell you if it's more cost effective, but for a lot of companies, be honest with you, a lot of larger companies, like let's just call large, like over 10 to 20 users. Um, I don't want to cut out all of our small guys because it works for them too. But if you've got over 20 users, or if you're a company that has very rigid operations and you can't modify them to deal with a one-off government contracting project, man, this is perfect. So maybe a better way to say it is if you've only got a small percentage of your business in defense, and you just need kind of like an air-gapped bubble to deal with the CUI in, this is perfect. By far and away more cost effective. From a compliance perspective, is this better? Yes. I personally am all about solutions where I don't have to question whether or not my clients are going to be compliant. We deal with assessors all the time. Assessors are opinionated. There's no control over what little thing they're going to nitpick and whatever. But if you're in the Azure government environment, it's not really a lot to nitpick. And for that reason, I'm really a big fan. I don't want to touch on it a whole lot, but there are some patchwork solutions out there. And this is the problem with buying solutions other than this in Office 365 GCC High is they're like plugins, or they create a second inbox, or they do all kinds of other goofy things that you have to kind of work around to be compliant. For some people, that's a good solution, but for a lot of people, what that can lead to is end users who are not computer savvy clicking the wrong thing and winding up sending CUI through a non-compliant channel. Now you've got a data loss incident you've got to report, and it becomes a real disaster. So, from a compliance perspective, I'm a huge fan because whatever you do in this environment is compliant. Again, barring, attaching some sort of a cloud solution to it that isn't compliant, which again, the cool part is we can make it so that users can't install applications they're not authorized to install. So much better for compliance, I think. I think it's a win. From a scalability perspective, is it better? Yes, no question. You can't go scale out 100 computers in your office, but I can do it virtually very, very quickly. From an ease of setup perspective, is it better? I'm not going to kid you. There's a setup project often involved. It doesn't really have to be a big project, but there is some setup involved. We take care of that. It's all behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about a thing, and we knock it out for you. I would say from a setup perspective, it's much easier on the end user. Basically, we just tell you when the environment is ready. We give you the keys to the castle, and you go and do what you do. And our team is there 100% of the time, right there with you to support you, help with applications, whatever you need. So yeah, from an ease of setup perspective, I think it's much easier than you having to go out and make your own network compliant. Much easier. Much, 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 much easier. Okay. You know, there's an old saying. You guys, if you know me by now, you know I'm a car guy, right? And if you're a car person, my wife is a car girl, right? If you're a car person, there's kind of a saying, right? Don't take a car that wasn't meant to go fast and try to make it go fast. Just go buy a fast car. In other words, if you take a Honda Civic and you try to make it really fast, there's only so fast you can make that car go. If you go buy a Corvette, all right, and that car is meant to go fast and go around a racetrack, and then you put some racing parts on it, I think you're going to get a much better experience and a much better result at the end of the day. So very similarly, if you take a network that is just simply not designed from the ground up to be compliant, and you try to make it compliant, that's going to be a big expensive effort. Whereas if you take something like this that's meant to be compliant out of the box and serve this purpose, it's going to be easy. So I really, that's maybe the best scenario I can kind of give to you in terms of explaining how the ease of setup is just much, much better. What if I'm ready to find out if this is right for my specific organization? Here's what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to ask the special effects guy in the background, boom, pop a self-schedule up in the next browser tab for the users if you can. Hopefully that will be there by now. And what I want you to do is use that self-schedule, schedule time with one of our certified compliance experts to talk to them. Okay, we'll assess where you are in the compliance journey. Is it right to talk about this? We can answer any question you possibly have. That I promise you. We'll answer any questions for free. And we'll find out if it's right for your specific organization. I really hate getting into discussions on cost before we know you well enough through a gap analysis. But what I will tell you is if you can define it, we can give it a price. So again, definitely wide open to talking about it. And most importantly, we can probably talk to you for a few minutes and give you some general ideas if as to whether or not this sounds like a great idea. Ultimately, we're huge, huge fans of this solution. It is kind of a end all be all of solutions because now everything you do is in that government cloud, ending any conversation about whether what you're doing is compliant. Now, here's my self-schedule link again. Check out the tab at the top, but just in case for some reason, I don't know where you might be viewing this, it doesn't have control of your browser to pop that tab open with our self-schedule. You can go to https://meetings.hubspot.com/Mike1404/Azure-gov-virtual-infrastructure. Sorry, guys. Maybe we'll try to put it up in the chat, but ultimately, this is where you can self-schedule time with one of our certified compliance experts. Here's an easier way. You can just email me. Email me at mike@on-callsupport.com. And easy way to do this, right? Just send me an email. And then once I have an email from you, I'll route you to the right people who can help you to sketch this out, scope it out, etc. And I think that that's maybe even the easiest way, but I'm really big fans. Let me just put you directly in touch with the people via the self-schedule link. Again, hopefully that tab is popped open. If it hasn't, go to our website. Okay. Go to our website. You can go to on-callsupport.com and follow stuff to get self-scheduled there. Sorry I didn't put up, but I'll write it up on the screen real quick. Let's see here. Oops, notepad. Yeah, there we go. Close enough, right? You can go to cmmccompliancesecrets.com. Okay, go to cmmccompliancesecrets.com and you can self-schedule right from the front page. Scroll about halfway down, you'll see a big calendar. It's very obvious, and just let them know that you want to talk about Azure Virtual Machines, and happy to do that. Okay, when we were set up by audit for DIBCAC, okay, Azure Government Virtual Machines is the way we decided to go for absolute 100% success on the first go around. So I want to explain this. Okay, we are about to get audited ourselves by DIBCAC to become a certified third-party assessing organization. Our decision was, and again, this is a little bit of insider information, right? Because we are being a C3PAO, we're a certified third-party assessing organization for CMMC candidate company right now. We only have one more step to complete. which is to get the actual audit by DIBCAC and kind of get our green light. I decided, despite already having the company compliant, that what we would do is move all operations as it relates to how we would assess and deal with clients, so client-facing activities. We decided to move what we were doing into the Azure Government Virtual Machine environment. We decided that because we wanted absolute 100% success on the first go around. So one of the reasons we were doing this webinar is because internally we said, hey, wait a minute. If this was our attitude and solution when we got audited, maybe we should talk about this some more and share our secrets. And you guys know CMMCcompliancesecrets.com is one of our big marketing websites that we use. We're all about spilling the secrets of how people get compliant, demystifying this stuff, taking away all the garbage mystery. This is how we're going to do it. So more than just something that we're out here talking about, this is what we're using to guarantee success in an audit. Now, why are we so concerned about that? Well, here's some insider information, okay? DIBCAC is a limited number of teams that do this auditing. And if you fail on your first audit, it's a total cluster, because I've heard that they're taking more than a year to get back to companies who didn't pass on their first go around. There's just not enough assessors to go around, which is ironic because you'd think that they want to create more assessors to help out with this whole process. Hey, whatever, it is what it is. My goal, simply put, is to pass on the first try. And to us, failure is not an option. And if failure is not an option, I stuck everything into a virtual machine within Azure Government. That's what we did. And, I think that's one of the other reasons why we decided to put on this webinar and sort of just share what we're actually doing and make this happen, because, it is a little bit more of an advanced solution. But we've taken a lot of effort over the past several months to just greatly simplify the process. We're having a lot of success with our clients in this environment. They love it. And, at the end of the day, if this is what we're doing, we want to be transparent and share with you, this is what we're doing. And so if this is what we're doing, I think it'd probably be good enough for you. So, guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in for this webinar. I know it's a little bit of a longer one, but I got to tell you, it's a really, really, really important concept. And I think it's a concept that ultimately is going to make your journey to compliance much faster, much easier, and it's going to just, generally speaking, get the job done with the greatest degree of certainty. So, as I always say, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't checked out our YouTube page, check it out. It's youtube.com/@OnCallCompliance. Do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for joining on the webinar. I'll see you on the next informative webinar, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining us.